What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the middle of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Player. He's from the F2 clan, the Fade2 clan. This clan comprises of some of the strongest team game players in existence. And this team game, in this team game, these players are all playing. Two players right in the yellow color playing as Kronos. His name is Squash. And to players left playing as Hades. His name is Icaro. Now, most of you will have heard of Squash Mr. Clean himself in this game, but maybe some of you might not be so familiar with Icaro. He is a French legend, to say the very least. There are a few incredibly strong French players in Age of Mythology. You've got Chemo, you've got Icaro, just to name a few. Well, I mean, I was going to say another one, but I went with Icaro here. But there's a ton of them. And I think that because Icaro didn't play many 1v1s, he's definitely an incredibly strong 1v1 player, but because he didn't play many 1v1s, he's not really known that well in the community, at least in the the Age of Mythology reviewing community, YouTube, Twitch, etc. But he is someone to be terrified of when you're playing team games, because you know he's going to do something very, very strong. Their opponents today, though, they are no pushovers. In the top left of the spawning order, I guess is the bottom left of the map here, in the red color playing as Hades, his name is Hero OP. Normally a Loki main, but today on this map Mediterranean, going to be going in with Hades. His partners in the green color playing as Uranus. His name is Musameli. And then finally, rounding out the team in the sky blue color playing as Kronos. His name is Swiss Boy. This team is also incredibly strong. Unfortunately, it seems like UCA Owls here. That's what they're from the Owls division. So I've talked about this already once, but UCA comprises of two divisions. They're that big of a clan, two divisions, and it's really, really hard to differentiate which division is actually the A division and which division is actually the B division. Now, if you're really, really knowledgeable about the levels at which these players are in team games, you might be able to make a good guess. But chances are, when and if UCA get to play against each other, you won't actually, the outcome will be very unknown, because both the UCA divisions can go toe-to-toe with each other. So let's talk a little bit about it. This map is Mediterranean. We do have a very unique god composition here, or not necessarily unique, but different god composition from the Fade2 meta here, coming from UCA with the Uranus instead of the Zeus. So only one restoration here. However, UCA will be able to get an insane pressure done early game, and not only that, the Uranus player here has spawned in the pocket, which is the best place for the Uranus to spawn. The Kronos is spawned in the flank, the best place for the Kronos to spawn, and obviously the Hades as well on the other flank here, the best place for that to spawn. The reason for this is sky passages. Uranus can build all of his buildings in his base, send one citizen over here to build a sky passage, one citizen over here to build a sky passage, and be able to double on both fronts very, very effectively, and also defend against any sort of underworld pressure that might come from them, from players Zeus here or Icaro's Hades, because he's going to be able to just jump around the map and get to defending all those positions. As we are seeing Squash moving in here, he has his Oracle Scouts. He's going to be looking for some sort of early game pressure. We do see a very low HP citizen here. It looks like player has been super aggressive with his Katoskopos in the early stages of the game here. As a mana coming down, the Squash focus is coming in. Promethean moving in onto this position here. We are seeing just a slight delay here from Swiss Boy. He's going to get up his mana, no problems. There's the the Valor there. I think that an immediate Sentinels could be used here from Heroes, but Swiss Boy's going to need to call that one there, as we're now starting to see the Breams moving in here. Swiss Boy is ready to start fighting this one. Squash is seeing this. He's going to immediately retreat back, wait for superior numbers before he starts fighting. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, we are seeing Musameli and Hero OP going to be going straight at Icaro. Icaro playing defensive here, realizing the amount of pressure that he's going to be under, because he knows the player is going after Swiss Boy here. All the pressure mounting. Now we're going to be seeing Squash moving over into Musameli's base. Now, Musameli does have his own potential to use Valor here. He has not moved his units, though, as his main base is about to get attacked. Meanwhile, nice micro here from Swiss Boy, pulling Squash back in, as now we're going to be seeing Musameli saying, all right, we're seeing where player is dictating the pace of this game. Going to move in and try and catch him out. There is going to be both numbers here for Musameli. Player notice that immediately. Going to be retreating away, as Hero is going to start putting pressure onto Icaro. Icaro's got 6 ships. Hero's got 7. So this is very, very equal on this side of the map right now. It looks like Hero might have missed an upgrade or something. Something weird going on. Is it exactly equal? Pretty much exactly equal for the Hades players. All going to come down to micro here, or team game movements. Meanwhile, on this position over here, the villagers are getting attacked. Musameli has reacted nicely, but the Chronos movement speed here actually does favor just a little bit, because he gets 4.4 speed compared to the 4.0 speed of those Prometheans. So Squash can just move back and forth here as much as he likes. Nice micro there from player, as both players moving in. We do see a bit of a restoration coming in from both players here. Boat numbers 9 to 10 here, so very, very close. Defender's advantage will be in favor of Icaro, though, as he does pull that boat back there. Nice play as this game is continuing. Very, very close over here. Meanwhile, over here, we do see a bit of a shockwave as player has to retreat back. Squash moving in and out on this position, trying to fight as best as he can. It looks as if, to me, that Hero might be losing on this fight. It's still very, very close. 9 to 7 here, as it looks like that's 7 Hero OP trireme to 9 trireme of Icaro, as the fighting is happening as best as it possibly can. We are going to be seeing Swiss Boy retreating back here. Player pushing in as best as he can, as this Bareem very, very low. We see the ships going at it as best as they can, but it looks like Squash is still trying to put pressure on here. Swiss Boy and Musameli going to attempt to chase these around, but simply put, that's not able to catch up to them here. As the advantage that Zeus is going to bring in this fight might just sway the fight a little bit too much in favor of the Zeus of the team Fade2 here, but UCA doing a nice job over here. We are seeing that Hero has decided, yep, just going to have to defend here for the time being, as Icaro is going to be doing exactly the same thing. We are going to be seeing player microing nicely, making sure that he's going to be pulling back Swiss Boy's boats as best as he can. Nice snipe there from Musameli there, as player has to pull back, losing another trireme there in the fire before he starts actually fighting, but then big pull there. You have to be so fast in Mediterranean, as the micro is still coming through. Squash trying to micro as best he can. Look at that micro there, but Swiss Boy is all over it here, making sure he's going to be focus firing as best as he can. It does look like there's a slight advantage here for the Sky Blue Chronos, but seemingly looking like Squash is going to be able to hold here nicely. Nice micro there from player, but Musameli does kill that boat there already. Here we are seeing that the trireme numbers are actually in favor of player. So Musameli going to have to retreat back, because he does have stronger ships here than player. Meanwhile, we're seeing Icaro going to be moving forward. He's got 21 ships here compared to Hero's 18. So defender's advantage here will allow for Hero to hold here most of the time, so long as he's going to be able to focus fire this nicely here. Oh, sometimes you got to make sure you kill that ship there instead of refocus firing, because that's going to be a lot of bonus DPS there from Icaro. It's looking like he's still marking this one beautifully. Lots of low HP ships here for both players, as Icaro might be able to actually take the water here and give Fade2 the advantage in this game. As meanwhile over here, we're still seeing the boats. They're kind of going at it even on this side. If I had to take a guess, there is still a restoration available here for, oh no, player went ceasefire. I've never seen that before. Player going for Hermes here on this map. Normally Athena is the staple meta, but Hero is going to have to call for some help here, because there's no way he holds here. Icaro has outproduced him somehow in the mirror, and Hero is going to have to reevaluate why he fought outside of the range of his docks here, as Icaro pushing in, getting good damage done. He's going to clean up all of these boats as Hero is going to say, all right, time to cut boats. And I imagine so too will Icaro cut boats and immediately start dropping town centers. The villagers are making their way over here. So too are the villagers of Hero moving forward. I wonder if he's got resources to drop this or not, as Musameli coming over here to attempt to defend, as we are going to be seeing Swissboy leaving this location, looking to pick off some fishing ships here, as the fishing ships of Swissboy are getting taken down. A second town center going to get dropped by Swissboy, but he's grabbing the back one here, and while this is going on, Squash is getting 2 town centers. Squash already has a second town center. This is what makes Squash so devastatingly strong on these Mediterranean maps, are those town center timings, as we are seeing Musameli going to come straight into Squash's bareems here. He's got the advantage here quite significantly, as Squash is not paying attention. He's not producing any more boats. Squash going to be retreating now, as we do see player coming over here to clean up all of those Sky Blue Swissboy ships there, as we see over on this position, some cheeky Squash harassing, going to be slowing down this town center ever so slightly. Meanwhile, town center coming up for Musameli. Over on this position, we do see the Chiron is out for Icaro. The Ajax is out for Icaro, and the Minotaur on this town center. Hero is going to be stuck 1 town center here. They don't have any way forward. We've got archery ranges, stables getting dropped by Hero. He is too slow on this position. And now guess what? Icaro is going to be moving forward and grabbing this town center now, because why not? He says, I am so... Well, he doesn't necessarily have to take the town center, but he can just drop buildings all around here and just say, you're not getting this, and it's going to be a 4-2 town center advantage for Icaro in the Icaro versus Hero OP matchup. And not only that, because of this pressure that Squash is putting on over here, Squash is going to be able to slowly, and player are going to slowly be able to take this town center as well as an advantage here as this game continues along. Musameli doing, and Swissboy, however, doing a good job cleaning this up. The question is, will player be able to get over here and hold this position first or not? That's going to be the big question here, because if UCA can win the bottom side of this map, of this matchup and this map, then potentially Hero can hold for quite a while against Icaro, which is generally the case in the Greek mirror, as Hero does get his second town center. It just depends on what sort of units and how far behind Hero actually is. So Hero going to attempt to grab this town center as he's moving forward here, but the buildings are up, the units are out, and there's no way that Icaro is going to allow this. Maybe some towers here or something to prevent the town center from going up could be a way forward here for Hero at this point, but still boats moving around by Musameli, creating chaos. The fishing ships still gathering for Musameli, so he's able to comfortably produce from those 3 town centers as the units are going to be pushing forward here. Swissboy and Musameli know that this town center is super important. Not only that, this town center is in range of water. There's tons of town centers in range of water here in this map. So losing this town center and pushing for the mythic age here from one of the UCA members here could be a really, really good way to play this, going straight in for those siege ships to take down these town centers and secure the map. Could be a really good way to play, but players Odysseus here getting taken down. I imagine that F2 doesn't really care here. They're going to be playing for an underworld to finish this game off and getting a really big boom happening. Go into like Colossus or Heliopoli into a kind of an underworld back here could be a good idea. Hitting both these town centers from Hero and from Musameli. Though Hero should also have access to an underworld of his own. So the question here is, do UCA play for a heroic age push here? Because they could go for this, given they've got the Atlantean advantage of getting into destroyers nice and early here. We do see Hyperion coming through from Musameli, for example. So dropping down a handful of Palace, going into mass destroyer here, into a back underworld on this position. Yes, there's going to be ceasefire, but it's still an option, as Icaro's now got absolutely tons of Toxotes to grab this town center. But those Toxotes do mean that there's going to be no pushing power here. As soon as you see mass Toxotes, you can just get towers and hold forever. It means your opponent doesn't have any room for siege. So you're going to be completely fine where that's concerned. As the town center here getting taken down, player taking his sweet time, getting units out over here. He's starting to make everything he can. They're all spamming buildings down as best as they possibly can. The town center, though, is falling, and player has to cast ceasefire. Great pressure here from UCA. This does give them the opportunity to cast an underworld somewhere on the map with incredible pressure to be exerted there. So we'll see if Hero can get to that heroic age, and if UCA wants to go for that type of a play here. That's going to be the big question. But Icaro and player are going to be going through to that heroic age at the same time. So they've got 2 underworlds to 1 underworld. And this is going to be very, very tense here. I think that because Musameli still had fish for quite some time here, he should be able to actually get to the mythic age here. And obviously, maybe not obviously to a lot of the 1v1 viewers out there, but this is team game. So a Hecate is effectively not a god pick for Uranus in the mythic age. It's very rare to see Hecate. You want to be going Helios nearly every single time here in the mythic age so that you can hit multiple different places and do tons of damage here with Hecagigantes and all that other stuff. Given the big map size, those vortex and multiple different weaknesses that your opponent's going to have, you can get a lot of value out of those vortexes. So we'll see how things are going to be eventuating here as Apollo does come through for Icaro. Icaro is absolutely gigantic here, nearly double the score of Hero in this game. But these Carabalas is coming through for Swiss Boy, doing absolute work against those hoplites here. But we are seeing these units having to retreat back. The Satyr are now out for Squash. Very, very terrifying units to deal with for the double Atlantean here. If you had like an Odysseus or something coming over here, Chiron, maybe they could deal with that, but not happening just yet. As the Palace coming up now for Musameli on this position. We do see Helios coming through for Musameli, so there is that opportunity. But Squash 2 is going through Helios, and they're exactly the same time here to get to that next stage. However, Squash's Helios is not going to be that strong because he's got only Arcus here. Generally speaking, while Archers are the best holding units, if you go through Helios, you want to actually lose all of those Arcus as fast as you can and replace them with things like Murmillo, things like Contarius, things like Destroyer, things like Fire Siphon. Those are the units that you want. Meanwhile, Icaro taking this awfully slow here. He's finishing off this final dock. We're still not seeing any like immediate go into those siege ships here. Just straight going for a fortress. We've got Hephaestus coming through for both player and for Icaro here, as well as the Helios, obviously. But Hero, he is now in the heroic age. He's getting himself fortified town center, trying to hold on as best as he can in this matchup. Down 2 town centers in a bit of a difficult position here, as the heroic ages do come down. We do see the chaos getting dropped here. Unfortunately, hitting a Satyr instead of that Hecagiganti. That could have been absolutely huge there for UCA. As Musameli, he's in a good position here. He does have potential to bring the UCA back into an equal footing here if he can get some good vortexes in. We're now starting to see the trade coming through for Fade2 as well as UCA. As the units now coming through, we've got the immediately into Petropolis Toxotes. Now, if you're unaware of the like hyper late game strengths that Hades has access to, Heliopoli Myrmidon is like the composition that Zeus is known for, but Petropoli Toxotes is kind of the composition that Hades is known for in a big way, especially if you can get those towers set up. It can be really, really tough to do a whole lot of stuff there. As the units pushing forward, we do have the Hecagigantes tearing down those buildings incredibly fast here. As the Satyr helping out a ton, we are seeing Swiss Boy coming back in, the Hecagigantes coming through. This is nearly pure destroyer here from Musameli, so he obviously knows what he's doing. He's already got champion archers out as well as the Hecagigantes is coming in, going to be pounding that ground there. You do want to cast Vortex first. If you cast Vortex first, you can be able to do as much damage to that position before the enemy Vortex comes in, and or kill the units as they drop down. Having slight advantage of the early stages of the fight can be huge. Meanwhile, Fortress pushing forward as Icaro is slow pushing into here. We are seeing those Hippocon trying to swing around, trying to get onto those Petropoli. They do manage to do so, but they're going to be falling incredibly fast as the Colossus moving in onto this position to try and help out both players. Colossus coming through here, as it looks like, I mean, Toxotes numbers relatively equal here, as Hero is somehow managing to hold on as best as he possibly can here. But this position here is falling very, very fast here, as it doesn't look like Swiss Boy's got the economy to keep up like Musameli does here, as Squash is huge, Icaro is huge. player is huge. Forge Atlas, excuse me, is actually coming through. For Swiss Boy, though, this could be actually gigantic. Take down all of those Arcus here with an implode. Follow that up with a Vortex. This could be gigantic. There's the implode. We'll see where Squash is going to go. He's just going to say, all right, I'm going to lose all my Arcus. Well, he doesn't really have anywhere to go here. He's just going to be losing every one of those Arcus there. You can see that they all do basically die once they get sucked into here. Some units do survive from the implode, but mostly archers get one hit. As that's all that's left here. But while this is going on, we do see the Oxy Juggernauts are out by player. The Town Center does go down, and Swiss Boy is down to 2 Town Centers now. Hero also on 2 Town Centers. The Town Center about to fall here as Icaro has managed to slow push in here and take this Town Center down. Very, very nice play here from Fade2. As it seems to me that UCA, even with a Vortex coming through from Musameli, will not be enough here. Hero decides to tap out. Swiss Boy taps out. And while Musameli did manage to mitigate a lot of that damage that comes from losing the water here, Hero not able to get his Talent Center here due to some nice Icaro early game or mid game play. And then also Swiss Boy losing this Talent Center. Too much for Team UCA. Fade2 get the win and secure a very strong standing in their group. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.